Good evening. Thank you so much for your patience. My name is Jesse Stein. I'm the chair of the planning board, and the planning board is now in session officially at 6:30 p.m. for our posted agenda. I want to make some quick introductions. Jesse Stein. We're also joined by Marnie Houlihan, fellow planning board member, Debbie DeMuria, also a planning board member, our town planner, Karina Quinn, and our business admin to planning, Colleen Stansfield. I want to make a note that Southborough Access Media, Sam, is recording the session. Thank you very much for that. At this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Colleen, who's going to present. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jesse. The first thing I plan to start with is go over a quick little PowerPoint that we had given at the last two information sessions, just to make sure everybody was refreshed on it. So we're all aware that Southborough is an MBTA commuter rail community. This was the agenda for that first information session, so I'm going to skip over this. Zoning. So let's start here. This is, there's actually, I have some reports over here from AARP that came up with this report on missing middle housing. And it goes from the single family home over here, which is the most restrictive zoning, all the way to the big apartment buildings, which nobody likes. So there's these different ones in between that we're kind of hoping we can incorporate into the community in these areas that we will zone. Cottages, duplexes, triplexes, townhouses, things like that. Just that there's other options other than a big apartment building. And I'm just going to go over the benefits for, what are the benefits of multifamily housing? More housing options, more access, greater affordability, older adults can downsize, college kids can come home and rent their first apartment, young couples can become homeowners, low-income families can find housing stability, middle-income families have greater mobility, small businesses can retain employees, grandparents can stay close to their grandchildren, and we all benefit. Why is this good for Southborough? Southborough already has committed to improving our housing diversity, supporting broader housing goals through the 2019 Housing Production Plan, the 2021 Master Plan, and other town goals. Many people may want to live in Southborough, but the housing prices are extremely high, and many of the homes are single family, which means seniors wanting to downsize and stay in town have no opportunity to do so. Young couples looking to start a family can't afford homes in this town. College graduates cannot return to their hometown without having to move back with their parents. Local businesses struggle to find quality employees, and we lose out on our new neighbors that the diversity of housing options would bring to our community. What are the requirements for Southborough? We've sort of gone around to table and kind of explained that out. We are a commuter rail community. Our deadline to become compliant with the state is December 31st, 2024. Our current housing units are 3,763. And the minimum land area in Southborough that does need to be zoned is 50 acres. The developable station area, which is the bubble you see on the maps that you have, is 167 acres. The percent of the district to be located in the station area is only 20%, so that makes 10 acres, or 2 of your tabs. The district capacity, which is 50 times the 15, is 750 units. What does zone capacity mean? Capacity, what could theoretically be built under the new zoning code if there was nothing currently on the ground? This is not a production exercise, it's a zoning exercise. But the capacity of a lot is the same as what the zoning allows, whether there's something on it, or nothing, or something that's pre-existing non-conforming. This is a rendition of that half-mile radius around the commuter rail station. 10 acres must be within this area. Other considerations, land that cannot be included. We've had a lot of questions on that tonight. Federal, state, municipally owned land, certain designated lands like wetlands and flood zones, parks and playgrounds, and conservation land are all excluded. We can still impose restrictions and incentives in our zoning. Mixed use is a new thing that they didn't originally allow, so that's been added. We can require it or suggest it in the zoning.
Explain what that means, what mixed use means.
Mixed use is commercial. You probably see it in villages in town where there is commercial on the first floor, could be a sub shop or a convenience store, and then upstairs is residential units. That's what they consider mixed use. Thank you. We can still impose restrictions, incentives in our zoning. We can require the mixed use. We can have a green space requirement, and the setbacks and the height are all going to be decided as we go through the public hearing with this written bylaw. The lot size can also be determined. Just because it is 15 units per acre doesn't mean you have to do acre zoning. There is no project being proposed with this, and I think that's important. This is mandated zoning for all of the 177 MBTA communities and designated adjacent communities. We cannot require more than 10% affordable, but this is also new. When this first law came out, there was no affordable component. But by building all this stuff, many towns commented back to the state, and they did change it. So now we can do 10%. We can go up to 20%, but we do have to submit a type of pro forma. I forget exactly what they call it. Feasibility study of some sort. But we can send that in, and as long as it's still profitable, we could require it in certain districts. Feasibility analysis, there it is right there. So we have pre-existing non-conforming multifamily in the community, and the next slides are just samples of that. And these came right off of MHP, which is the Mass Housing Partnership. This is a residency that they use. I'm happy to give anybody the link to it if they'd like to play with it a little bit. It shows the whole town, and the different colors show the different densities. So this one, in the bottom, it's highlighted 12.03. This is a 9-unit residential building on a 3/4 lot, and the density for that is 12.03. These are two others. 8 Newton Street is a 3-family on only 0.15 acres. That has a density of almost 20. 3 Pleasant Street is a 3-family on a 1/4 acre lot, and that has a density of 11.87, so almost 12. This one here at 36 Main Street is 2 buildings on 1 lot, which there's also a assessor's big sheet there that shows all the multifamily. It's on your tables, and they're separated by assessor's code, which is multifamily over 3, multifamily over 6, and it's just at the top of the header if you want to take a peek at that. So this one is a 3-family, 2 in the house and 1 over the garage, and that is 13.26 density. 1 Prentice Street is a 2-family on 0.19 acres, and that density works out to be 10.33 per acre. 16 Cherry Street is student housing. It's on a 0.15 lot, and that has a density of almost 14. And then the last one, I think this is the last one. Yes, that's the last one. This one is right on Turnpike Road, and it's a mixed use, to your point. It has 5 residential units with a business on the first floor. It's on just under a half an acre, and that density is at 11.61. And that's just a refresher there. This is the plan we came up with in a timeline trying to get this accomplished. And we are right now in the information, 3 workshops. We're in October and slightly dipping into November. Come December, we're hoping to start with writing the bylaw and getting the language. And we're hoping that tonight will help us direct the planning board to where the zoning might go. You guys have already started the exercise and whatnot. Is there any sort of a question that anybody's come up with?
When did this
Oh,
meeting
absolutely.
start? I thought it said 30. This meeting started at
So
6:30.
we're all going to probably make our ways to the different tables. Have you explained, I think the first part is to say, this is a mapping workshop.
missed
So
an
the
hour.
goal of this is to get people's input to where they want to put acreage. I would also say this is a place where you can put input if you don't want to put acreage. I don't think you should feel obligated to feel like you need to put that down, and if your voice is to be heard, which is what the appropriate thing is to do here, you can either choose to help participate and find acreage, or help by participating and saying, we don't actually want this in our town and we don't want to put that acreage down. I just want to make sure that everyone understands there's a choice here, and that we've put this together as a mapping workshop, so the goal is ultimately, so the planning board has some options in front of it so it can write a bylaw. The process is that those options would come to town meeting. Town meeting, a simple majority would need to approve this for us to comply with the MBT community. Again, that ultimately comes to town meeting to vote for. So I think I just wanted to make it clear
Then
that
they shouldn't have started until
this is
6:30
really
like
for
they
your
said they were gonna
voices.
do.
And if there's an opportunity to write your opinion down,
What?
there's a piece of paper there. We would like you to capture that and how you're working together. So my other comment is just around what is at their table, and if there's any questions at their table. Yes.
I was under the impression that
You're
this
gonna need a
meeting.
microphone. You do it. You're
Hi. I was under the impression this meeting started at 6:30. I feel like I missed something. No? Did it start at 6:30?
Yep.
We just opened the meeting here. There have been a lot of discussions going on,
Okay.
but you're not going to miss a thing.
Okay.
Is there anybody else's question? Over here.
Well, yeah, John Butler, 4 Davis Road. I have a question. Since the state has changed the approval process in the law for zoning changes to a simple majority, are there other changes that they have made to the approval process for this particular zoning? For example, zoning proposals that are rejected at town meeting can't come back for 2 years under certain circumstances, depending on how they're defeated. Are there any other changes to the approval process law other than a majority instead of 2/3?
That's our knowledge.
Okay, so we could have a situation in which if it were rejected, depending on the process, that the 2-year rule might apply.
So, thanks. So a lot of things can happen. I mean, this is all very much in flux. A lot of different communities are doing a lot of different things. We don't know, and that's not really the point of the meeting as far as the merits of the state's initiative. The point of this meeting is if we do comply if this does come to pass, where do you want it to be? That's the input that we're looking for from my fellow residents tonight. To your question, really we don't know, how this is going to play out in the end. There's all different ways this could go. There's going to be litigation with the other communities. We know that at least one other town is in the courts over this. So I don't know how deep into the weeds we want to get tonight on all the possibilities of the state's review.
I just want to know if there are other rule changes, and the answer is no.
Okay.
It's a big step.
James Eastland at Wildwood. On the list of restrictions that we can put on the zoning, can we, I know the residential A, residential B have certain constraints on how much can be rented versus privately owned and lived in. Is that something that this group is eventually going to look at on these areas? And is that something we want to look at in terms of should they be privately owned townhouses or should they be rental garden units?
So the zoning doesn't address that. Ownership is not something that, it's better for us for affordability if we have a 20 unit that came in with 10% affordable, and then we could count the whole amount for our affordable 10%. But other than that, those things will still be worked out through the board during the public hearing process.
Leah Emerson. Hi, everyone. If you haven't met me, I'm the Economic Development Coordinator. You can find me at Town Hall Tuesday through Thursday, 17 Common Street. Can you just clarify, Colleen, that the orange areas on the maps are, that's land that you can't build on, correct? And then also, just to clarify that each of the tables, you don't necessarily need to move around. I think all of the information has been duplicated at each table, so.
Yes. Yeah, everybody had the same maps on the tables that we started with. Yes, and so the clear maps are the black and white ones that show excluded land. We just got those today from MHP, Mass Housing Partnership. The other ones I've colored.
Freddie Gillespie, 78 Southborough Road. I apologize, I got here a little late, and I see this question, number 1, 25 acre contiguous overlay district. I knew, that's the first I heard of that, so maybe I missed something. Did you already go over it? Because I know there's 5 acres, it has to be 5 acres, and I know 10 acres has to be in the half mile, but I never heard that 25 acres contiguous had to be
that's
part of it.
It is. It's part of, it was written into the law, so 25 acres. It could be bigger than that. You could have all 40 acres together. 10 acres have to be by the train station in the half mile area.
I got a question.
That's a big difference. I hadn't heard that.
So Eric Laser, Skyline Drive. So the affordable requirement, so the town can enforce that whatever the developer does, 10% of the units have to be affordable?
We could, that's completely up to the planning board as they're writing their bylaw, if they want to include that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanna make sure.
I've already got you. That's true. Anybody else?
Hi, Marianne Condon, home at Fitzgerald Lane. So what is the process for what proposal, the map, or will there be maps that the planning board is going to bring to town meeting for a vote? Is it you all are going to take input and provide one map, or are there going to be options?
So it's just for the informational purposes, there's a couple of different ways they can do it. Each of the areas that you are picking to zone could have separate requirements. They could be a different district. One could allow commercial, one could just be residential, and how they do that is going to be up to the planning board.
Yeah. So we're going to take this feedback tonight, this input, digest it and process it through the public hearings that always occur before we do a planning board sponsored bylaw at town meeting. So there's a series, you'll see posted agendas, a series of public hearings at which all of this will be discussed and in effect, quote unquote, finalized. Now, of course, once it hits town meeting floor, people can debate and amend, and, how it turns out in the end, like I said, we don't know. But the process is, do your work tonight, and it'll go through the public hearing process, which I also encourage you to participate in.
Just pure instructions. So does everybody have a clear idea of what you've been asked and tasked to do?
They said they didn't start.
Because you still have your questions?
So, once again, John Butler, 4 Davis Road. So, I'm not of the view that this is a benefit that the state is delivering to the town of Southborough. And I am of the view that we may need to comply. It appears as though we're going to need to comply. But we could comply in a way that implements a theory that this isn't really good for us, but we need to comply. Or we could implement this on some theory that it is good for us. At the moment, I lean towards the view that the state has not come up with a benefit for the town of Southborough, and that therefore we should, if we need to comply, which it appears we do, we should comply in a way that results in the minimal change to the town as a result of the zoning change that's mandated. And there are ways to do that that appear to be comply with the rules. So, for example, it appears as though you could lay out, if you take the value of existing developed land and you assume that to convert it to this use, it would require the purchase and demolition of its existing structures, then you find high-value structures that are unlikely to be demolished, and you rezone the land underneath them in this way, and you're unlikely to produce changes to the town of Southborough as a result.
So, Mr. Butler, sorry to interrupt, but we're not here to prosecute the merits of MBTA communities. What we'd like to do is to proceed at this point with the exercise, so that everybody can do their
So could I finish? So I think that one option that should go to town meeting is an option that is compliant with the law as it's written, but produces the minimal amount of change on the town of Southborough. And I think that requires a description of the strategy to do that that should be implemented by someone. I would hope the planning board would at least present that option to us, to the town meeting. Because I think many people in town may feel, as I'm currently leaning, in the direction that this isn't really a good thing. So we should comply but not produce a lot of change. And I think if the planning board is not going to draw up a map that is targeted with that objective, that someone else should do so and bring it to town meeting. I would hope the planning board would do it, but if not, citizens can do it. But my input to you would be make at least one map that is likely to have the least impact and change on the town of Southborough, at least with respect to the 40 acres that have to be that can be outside of the region, the immediate region. I think with regard to the 10 acres that have to be around the train station, it's less clear to me whether we should attempt to frustrate the purpose of it there or only outside of that region. But my view is that outside of that, for the 40 acres, we should choose a zoning that is likely to have no effect whatsoever on the town. Because I don't agree with any of your statements about the benefits that are likely to accrue from this. I think there's none of them that I agree with.
Can we start the project? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Butler, but I came here to do the mapping.
That's
And
fine.
other
I'm
meetings,
done.
and he already asked you to let us work.
I'm
Thank you.
concluded, but I do think there's going to be quite a bit of sentiment that maybe this isn't a wonderful thing that the state has just brought to us. And if that's the case, I think we should have those options.
Thank you. I agree.
Thank you.
Same.
I'd like to see of hands who agrees with that. I mean, do people generally think that that's the case?
Well,
Yeah.
I also agree that we Brian Green, Sutro Lane.
Just give me
I also think that you don't have to comply. This goes to town meeting, and we have a vote, and we say no, okay? And then, you know, there's other options. Litigation is an option. So that's my
Well,
2 cents.
the town of Holden's not
Guys,
complying.
we could go on.
We're not gonna get, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could literally go on all night with everybody taking a turn and
This
saying
is a
whether or
town
not they
meeting
want to do it.
conversation.
It's definitely not the point of the exercise.
Yeah.
So
They're gonna
we
have
will
hearings.
have the public hearing process. You're all invited to come and take up our, you know, that time with debating whether or not to move forward with the warrant article. But tonight, let's focus on the map. Thank you.
Right, so Mike, I'll just say my goal, I've been deep into this for a while, and it's one of the houses that's slated, I'm sure yours are you on the map that they already showed saying they were gonna zone you that way? Because they did that to me,
I
so.
haven't seen that map.
That was presented at the last one. Here's an example of what it looks like. So they've already done that. Here's the point. They've had 2 meetings already.
I went to the first one, they had.
Yeah, the first one, I was sitting there, and they showed it. So the point is, not that you want to have it and that you don't want to not do it, but if you're going to do it, what makes sense?
Let's give our input.
And that's what I want to do here. No, they may not. Do you think town meeting's going to pass this? I think it's a cold day.
Town meeting doesn't pass it, then we
Record, right.
by.
And then they can come in and put it where they want. So all I'm doing is, here's a couple of things I think about. Because I kind of dug into this and I know zoning quite a bit. Because I'm on the Open Space Commission. And we dug into zoning because they weren't doing the open space correctly. Sorry, I
Can I
interrupted.
crash it? That's okay, let's get to the map.
So here's my.
You guys got it all worked out?
No, can I finish the sentence, please? Because this is our table talking. You're in the zone?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and one issue I have is, if we're going to zone it, we have to zone it how to have the least impact, and you want to pick lots that are less likely to be developed. I agree with John Butler's statement. I just don't think that was what we should be talking about.
We have to zone it.
10 acres. So you pick the lots that are less likely to be built. And I have a couple of things to say before we all start doing it, right? Sorry, I'm being like John Butler right on tape. But, so, here's my thing. Most densely built out community side of town. Biggest impact, right?
Yes.
Do you want some direction? No. Oh, okay. Not right now. I say put it all on the north side. Give us the 10 acres. It's the most expensive land. They're not going to tear down a $5 million house to put the units on, right? And if they do, right? Let's share the, why have it all the congestion, all the traffic, all the, let's spread it around town. Okay.
These pencils in orange areas.
That's my artwork. So that's St. Mark's. They own a lot of property.
Yeah.
And these are all.
They own this as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, because I'm just learning about this stuff. How are we going to find 10 acres of land in this little area?
Show them where it is.
My house is right there. And
Do these different colors mean anything?
No, so I was, this is actually to explain this better. This is the tab. This part of it is 5 acres. I took it right off of this. That's 5 acre lots. So you need 2 of these down here. Pull off the sticker, and that is it. So we only need 2. It doesn't matter if it's raw land, if there's a house on it. You don't want it, honestly, if you think about it, you don't want to zone raw land.
You know what,
Because it will get built right away.
Okay, so you don't want, wait a minute, look at it, underdeveloped.
There's plenty of houses on land.
Underdeveloped land. So take Fitzgerald's, right? If you put that on Fitzy's, how many acres is that? So we're looking
That
at
would, what we can't do is one lot, so.
No, I understand.
So if you do the couple next to that one, You don't get your 10 acres.
Right, so what I'm saying is, put it, exclude that lot and make it away from it. If you're thinking, how big is that lot? The parking lot and the, tear down the Bitsy store, right? What's that gonna be, a big block of condos for what?
Is that even an acre?
You don't need to have an acre, like I was showing you, you can have a .15.
I wasn't here.
No, but I was just, oh, I'm sorry.
So here's the thing, if you have a quarter of an acre lot, you get 1/4 of 15 units on your lot. But how the zoning will go, there's no lot size requirement, okay? So if you have an eighth of an acre, you get 1/8 of 15 units could be on yours. What they can fit in there is a different story, right? Like because of septic and all of that. You'll have some setbacks, but they're going to have to make it work, right? What I'm saying is, if you see one house on 10 acres, just pretend somewhere, right? That means that property could subdivide and 9 acres besides what the single family home needs could become 9 acres of 15 units, and that could get built. So you think that way, like if you don't want 750 units going up all at once. However, if you did want a lot going up all at once, you would say EMC, all that open land over there, put the 50 acres there, and then, you know, within a few years, we'd have 750 units, just like that. You couldn't put the 50, you'd have to put 40 because men have to. So,
Okay, so all of these different tabs are these like they figured these out to scale in terms of how much acreage they represent.
she said they're 5
So
acres.
each one of these represents 5
But
acres.
they don't represent how you have to do it either, because
You have to have 5 contiguous acres in that area.
5 acres contiguous down here, 10 acres.
It's 10 total, but 5 have to
10
be.
to 5, right?
Yeah.
But somewhere there, I never heard that, somewhere there has to be 25 altogether. That's crazy. That is
The
crazy.
outer part, not in the.
Okay, so but one way or another, would it make sense maybe to at least talk through where we would want to put it in the yellow just to help us get started?
Yeah, are you guys all living down
I think we do.
Yeah,
But we don't know each other.
Oh, now you're.
We're 3
They
Hammond
said
Street,
don't
we're just
sit
like
like
that little corner
Yeah,
there.
with this little stretch. Yeah.
As you're going around that sharp turn
Oh,
there.
yeah. That's where lots of probably.
So what's your names, by the way, thanks? I'm Debbie.
I'm Matt.
I'm Elizabeth. Okay, I think I remember you came to one of the meetings. What's your name?
We live on Hammond Street, which is, you know, where the Corderville Road sign is, right across the street from Fitzy's. We live in that neighborhood right behind that sign.
So, yeah, we're right down the street.
Yep.
Do you know the house? The one sit back in the road with the gray with the
Oh, yeah.
red shutters?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nice,
So you see our dog probably running around. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice to meet you.
I have been against this from day one, just so you know. I have also been sending texts to different people, like every single day there's something about how the T doesn't work, and it's, you know, they're making us do this for a system that's broken, and people are having to jump out of trains and, you know, fires, and, but we're going to have to do it. I would say, I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but some of, down here, some of the smaller lots, which is, they're more affordable to buy and tear down.
And so if you were to rezone them, they would be very likely to get redeveloped.
But not necessarily, because if you look, okay, so near the train tracks, I don't know, got the Sudbury River over there. The septic is maybe, I mean, that's something we'd want to have that information before we go to town meeting. What's this, if it's not perking, you don't have to perk well, right? So there's no way you're going to get 15 units, and what they would have to do, a developer, to make it work, you'd have to buy house after house after house, and put them together, and then, and they will do this eventually. Whatever we're zoning for, I don't think that eventually
Can you
it's not
point on the
going
map where exactly you're talking about? Because I'm a little bit unsure where.
Right over my house.
Right over here? Yeah, I was eyeballing that region earlier. That would be helpful. But yeah, no, I wanted.
I'm over like in here. I don't know what this is that wet or something?
Yeah, that's like a street that goes back that way.
Oh, so that must be the buffer maybe? That you can't build, because there's houses there, that's River Street, right? So,
But this is the parking lot of that, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that big yellow house. So there's houses there, so I guess it's saying they can't be built.
I mean, industrial.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think they're outside of the gym. Is that outside?
Oh, no, yeah, there's like a CrossFit gym down on Southborough Road. I think that's actually a little bit further down. But I know where you're talking about. I think these are mostly residences. Pizzaville is, I think, right here. Oh, you do?
I think Pizzaville's this tiny little.
Is it? Okay. So is your suggestion that that is a good spot, or is it not a good spot?
I think compared to the size of these other wells, I don't know.
But to his comment, wouldn't you also, they'd be unlikely to build in a place like very developed?
Yeah. So like
Stockwell?
Yeah,
Not
so-
that I want to
I can.
they're my friends too. But,
So this neighborhood right in here, these are really expensive houses. And unlikely, like it would be really expensive for a developer to buy them out and hold on to them. So when I was coming in today, I was thinking, oh, it might make sense to push on this because it generations for that to have consequence. But I was also thinking where I would go after that because it would be cheaper to redevelop, except unless you're saying for the sake of septic and water management, they would have to spend a ton of money to do it. Maybe in that, for that reason, they would Oh, these guys are.
because you'd have to accumulate a bunch of them.
So are we already talking about maybe two
That's
areas?
including my, I'm gonna say that's including my neighbors. They already did, but.
I'm happy to, we can accommodate you. You have people coming to your house already offering to buy you? No.
So here's the thing.
We have almost one.
That's fine. So here's the thing on these industrial lots, also talking about the value of the town, right? We don't have many, and maybe they're not well utilized now, but we don't have many, and
They're not going to let them be.
I wouldn't want it, because even though I live in an ideas about what an industrial area, I also value the town, when you have requirements, that's another one, there's lots of them together, I'll tell you about mixed use development. They're not successful, the developers were building, and then made the commercial use they leave the commercial use vacant across the country, which is happening, because it was the big, it was a fad. Fad's not the word I mean. Everyone was jumping on the bandwagon across the developers against them. They're trying to return their investment. They're right. They build them because they can get the house and they make their money. They don't care if there's nothing. You know, there's never a pizza shop or there's never like the yellow building on the corner. Yeah. When we got that in the village, we bought that. Right? We were promised it was going to have great stuff for us. It was going to be a game and an ice cream, and there would be all these wonderful things. And it never worked well. And you know what? I was waiting for a phone call one day, and I pulled him in. I said, "Parking lot, somebody can open it. This is a private lot. What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's a business." Yeah. And I got the other one. But anyhow, so you don't want development that doesn't work. Yeah. So then you're going to get a condo there. It's already built.
So
why give them any?
So that's interesting to know. So that's just like, let's try to put these down. So we have to put two of these in here somewhere. And they don't have to be next to each other.
Five? Yeah.
No, one of those is
One of
fine.
these is
Now, what is
fine.
the orange here? What is that?
That's
we're
open
submitting-
space.
Yeah. We have to,
That
we
can't
have
be
to
it.
keep that?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I think that's the church. It's the Catholic Church too.
So institutions and, deed protected conservation land, town-owned lands, and the town owns, that's the open space for
Oh yeah, this is the
subdivision.
Yeah.
And that's South Union School,
That's the
which they,
school, right?
people don't know the law, and they were saying, oh, well, South Union is, so they can't.
So, what I'm hearing is that actually, I don't know exactly how the acreage would shape out, but it almost looks to me like we could get away with doing just something like that. There's no way that would get redeveloped. I think I don't believe they have sewage.
Right, nobody does.
Yeah, nobody does. So not only are they expensive, but they would have to, in order to have an appropriately scaled multifamily unit, they would have to install that, and it's not going to happen.
I'm going to tell you also, the Liberty over there?
I don't know what that is.
Dale, Darling Drive off Woodbury, that's a high, that's
Oh,
even
right.
more
You have one.
expensive, even more expensive than.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, they are.
But the difference is you can buy one house into multifamily units.
Those are large enough lots, perhaps? No, actually, I don't know, because ours are bigger than
Stockwell's
theirs.
smaller.
Yeah, Stockwell
Yeah,
lots are
these are
small.
smaller
They
lots.
don't have like backyards, period.
That was a flexible development. That's why with flexible subdivisions, you get more open space in exchange for the density. So that's why this is all, that's their open.
We should just put them there. I think none of us
You're
at this
happy with
table.
that?
I'm sure there are other people. I can imagine there's at least one person from this neighborhood here.
Okay.
But that's I think.
Are you part of the
I know our neighbors.
Oh, are you, I'm so Freddie. I'm commented, Freddie. Oh, I commented telling people to get here.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I went up there, there was a misleading flag, and it was a mistake. So mistakes are going to happen, and I try not to get mad at them, because I can guarantee you this. I know the people on the board are hardworking and well-intentioned, thoughtful, caring people. So you're not against. You're not.
One more place, they had the planning board after the 2 meetings. They were saying it's positive. And I was like, did we leave the same meeting? And there was nothing.
I get where it comes from, but there's nothing redeeming about this.
No, I don't. I think they were saying the meeting was positive. There was I think I didn't hear this planning board meeting. They're probably saying that there was a good outcome from it. There was a lot of feedback. Not that people were in favor of it positive, but that it was a positive meeting.
There was a lot of opinions about it.
I didn't get to the second one.
I didn't go to the second one.
So go ahead, stick those there.
I'm just gonna leave them here, and maybe we can move them around later.
Put them there.
We can go in person, but we watched it.
Oh, I mean, my Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I want it. Yeah.
So okay,
Thank you
so
for putting it
and
together.
we have to use all the rest of the tabbies, right? Or how much?
Yes.
The rest go elsewhere.
That's 10.
And I would say prioritize far away. I mean, as much as
Five?
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. These all have to be together.
Oh, these 4 or 5 have to be together.
Yep.
2,500.
Okay, they have to be right, all contiguous. Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you where I want to go.
Okay, tell me.
Put those on presidential.
I don't know where that is actually. Oh, is that? Those are the super swanky houses, right?
It's on that side.
Yeah. So can we put them? Can we do like this number?
That's a wetland. It's not a They should have given us a different color. Where does presidential start? Right here. So I want 1, 2. These are the peaches. These all need to be contingent.
Oh yeah.
But so it's going to be a little more because I have to take out the wetlands. That's okay. A lot can be there.
This is fun. One person from there. Here. Oh really?
That's my person because everyone's on the
I mean, that would to their credit, that would like help them achieve, I think, their utopian vision. But no, I'm not. Yeah, of course.
It's the most affordable place to live in town. You're going to tear it down and outside.
No, I understand.
They'll rebuild with $1 million condos.
and take out this, what, because right now, what's it, 600,000 for small little
How
house.
dare you buy your house, in a nice neighborhood, far away from the high rises.
So, where is, over here, this here is another one.
Where's that?
It's off Pine Hill.
Elizabeth, I think we need to drive around town. I know we have, but I don't quite see it in my mind's eye.
That's like way, if you ever get anything off from the side, we're gonna have to go there.
Not worth it. Oh, I have driven over there before. I know where you're talking.
This should be green.
Where should be?
This should be orange.
Oh, yeah. We can ask about that.
I would love a blown
Colleen?
up.
I know, I keep trying to find you. You need an orange over here. Because what I've been doing, like if people ask to join, I've been taking the MBT's address and making sure it's what it is. Yeah.
Get very used to zoning. You get used to, do you know how to use the town's GIS map? And zoom around on that? I'll send you a link.
I just have no clue what I'm doing.
This here is open space.
To fill out with our ideas
I'd say put 2 here. And then you guys have one. And I'll tell you.
When it's decided, we don't want this, we want so much from the property line.
No, we're not going to say that yet. And I'm sure there's going to be guidelines that the planning board's going to have to use. It's not going to be like 150, there's not going to be dimensions like we have. It's going to have to be new. So right now we have 150 feet of 5-story building. We might be able to limit the height. This here is open space.
We're wondering about this area over here. Should that also be colored in with pencil orange?
That is open space set aside by the subdivision. It's deed protected. You can't have open space.
Yeah, so it probably just, they probably didn't record it somehow. Is it part of the subdivision open space?
Yeah, it was set aside by the subdivision.
Oh, yeah.
You can't build on it
Those,
ever.
no, those are written.
So we can't put that in there, so I'm saying the next time we make a map, you want to color that. We can't cover that in.
Where's the other map? Because I want to see if it's the one at MAPC. Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
Does
they're
it
not
show
all
on-
that.
Does it show on this one?
We trust MAPC? I'll tell you, I don't. I don't know what so I can't tell where we are.
Where is it that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, I'm not doing that. I'm doing that.
So I see, I think we're talking about somewhere right here. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so if it's not called out in our assessor's database, but when the state goes to look at it,
I don't know what you mean the assessor's database.
So there's a whole thing here. These are all the multi-families in town.
I'm not talking about multi-families.
I know, but these are, so excluded land. What I was looking for, these are sorted by.
No.
Open space. No, it's part of the subdivision.
It's not part of the subdivision.
I know,
It's called out, it's a separate lot.
but it was given as open space as part of that subdivision.
Demand.
Yeah. So, these are the 2-family dwellings, they're like,
There's no family in there.
I'm just trying to explain. So, no, you cannot do it there, but what would happen, there's a million things in here. And
What I'm saying, if we're doing mapping, we should have accurate maps that have the open space. You have that GIS data layer that could help.
I know, and I pulled it up. This is all part of it. We have a new GIS that we just went live today. And
Did they add the GIS data layer of open space?
we have that, I believe they do because I find these little things around subdivisions where they did the little bit around it. So it's there.
But it's not here.
But if we choose it, and and we find out that it's open space, it's just
Yeah, but that impacts the whole 5 acres.
yeah, but you're only one table, so you got one vote.
I'm not complaining at you,
It's our fault.
I'm saying for next time. So, right
Next time I'm
here,
gonna have these maps.
next time I'll help you get the open space.
Okay.
We don't want
You know
people,
more.
I can fly there in my brain and know what it looks like. So here, we'll go right here. If you're okay with that. And the point is,
Stick it on. I wanted to see.
Yeah, I was about to ask you once to stick them on.
do you mind if I do this? No. Can I tell you?
Yeah, they are. My daughter, thank you for doing it. I've been looking forward to like stickers all day. It really means a lot.
Wait a second.
The orange.
I thought this was.
We thought every sticker was fun.
Yeah.
We're putting that down to see with the green line.
This is a tab so that you can really back off. That's
Yeah,
all.
it's just the little piece of the sticker that comes off. That's 5 acres.
I tried to see
All right, now I'm getting us
I'd
this.
love to get it blown up of this with street.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Joyce.
Sorry, I did it
On North Street, okay, okay.
Mike and my husband went there.
Oh, I can see your house? Yes. Oh, it's so nice to meet
It's so
you.
nice to meet you.
I look at your house sometimes
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
street
like,
names.
Yeah. Does that help?
It does.
Use and I brought it just for that reason. Like
sometimes I'm looking at mine.
Did you get yours over there?
No.
We were so grateful.
What do you do for a living?
I do pharmaceutical research downtown. So I take 90 every day. And I would take the booster rail, except it would take me 3 hours plus every day.
Plus, if you had a
Have life.
I don't. Yeah, well, I came in here late.
and if you had to transfer onto like the green line, red line, or the orange line, you may never get it.
I would have to. I would go from our house, we would go to the T station, go to South Station, then out to Alewife on the red line. And that would be more than an hour and a half to where I work. So, yeah, more than an hour and a half. Because I took it today to Kendall Square and it was tough.
So we have 5 in a row?
I'm about to.
there's a house.
Where should I put it? Here? Should I put it right there? We'll get the idea.
Yeah, but I love your little one, it's great.
This year is just,
Okay.
because they have.
And those don't have to be right next to each other, right? Well, they'll get, and they get the idea in any case.
And then where do we have? 1, 2.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many are we supposed to have? Oh, we have one more right here.
Well, let's find another spot for that.
We could just put them all like up in here. I don't know if there's a reason not to. I'll get the message. I mean, would there be another area that you know of? So the idea of being far away and also high value to the state. Mine is here. And this is, I think, this is Parkerville.
We did it.
I don't know where Deerfield is.
Yeah,
The street name? The street name is right here.
Oh, okay. Where's the school? Here, this is it. Right up here. Right up here.
Is that right?
Yep.
No, I'm not 100% sure.
This is Deerfoot, right?
No,
There's a school, there's a school.
the elementary school?
No, this is the karate
They would have to buy
Oh, I
multiple
think so. I'm not
homes
100%
to
sure.
make an acre
Flag.
because the plots are so small.
Oh yeah, you've got the street.
So
Yeah, the street names are on this right here, so maybe we can, I need it because I don't know where to put it.
That's EMC, I'm gonna try it right here.
So much.
yeah.
Here you go, here's Parkerville. Here's Deerfield. So you're right about where Deerfield is, I think.
We've been getting
Yeah,
a lot. Tim said 1.2 million last time.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're saying
But
it's got to start right now.
send us the paperwork and no one said.
Why is EMC not on the map? Oh, that's a good question.
Why is that special area?
Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I like Ken.
and that was the same thing. We put five.
No, I think that'd be good. I think all go around this.
And we put 5 there.
Where's that? They're not gonna sell that.
Oh, that was a smart idea. Yeah. Put it here.
Right here? Ken salad dressing's right there.
And then this, we might put one here. We don't want anything over there.
Why not?
Because then it would get I just wanted to, I'm sorry, none of this is going to make this. That's the only one. I will vote for our plan.
I think in order for them, so I'm afraid that they'll look at ours and call it the snarky map. And okay. I want to give them, I want to have snark and then one that they would actually humor.
Okay, put this. What's that?
Oh, Ken's right there. I'm on board.
The trouble with that is they would subdivide off a section of it. That's the problem with that. They only need, they have how many acres? They don't need all the frontage. And they put it right on, they would just, they would subdivide the frontage on this 9, keep their factory there, and then have all the frontage.
I think you're probably right.
What?
Oh. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's
We don't
necessarily
want
a bad thing. I mean, I think realistically some of it has to get redeveloped. Yeah, I mean, no, I would, in a perfect world, yeah, but I mean,
Even after they just been back.
yeah, I just don't want it to affect the nature of the house, the nature of the neighborhood, the town too much.
If we're going to develop it, right, we want, this is my point, we want to have 750.
Year and a half later.
Because the developers have already made offers on the land, you can see it selling. They've already put offers on it. Price of that property.
Way back then, years ago,
They've got offers, probably accepted offers, right?
I don't know if they're doing
Some people going around saying everybody. So the price was
ended up there.
and then they offered, I'll pay you, more than for every half acre. If it's
Now
only,
that's overload.
so that's, they're not gonna pay for it unless the zoning goes through. The problem is, we could have purchased a small section, perfect spot for it, near Route 9. To make it friendly 40B, because we're still subject to it. That's why you have to have 10%, because otherwise we're having our 40B numbers go up. Yeah, but then we still have to, and then, I don't know if they hit their number, and then, so the point is, if you have 40B, I'm sorry, we put a bill in and not have taken these. The town put a bill and not have one shut down.
She called me this.
She did? Yeah. That's why.
But I don't know if that's
Well, I'm a little, I would say I'm getting a little confused, but are we, so where are we saying that we should put the
You don't want to be the snarky one trying to.
I don't mean to throw that word around. I'm not accusing anybody of being, because I'm perfectly willing to be.
Because we're already like reasonably developed, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's
Here, this was
smart.
a road that was already just recently put in. So crazy.
This one right here. Okay, then
Where
let's do
the town
that.
had the ability to buy it.
Yeah, cool.
But my question is,
this table. I was thinking about going around taking pictures and putting them on my Facebook page, but I don't know if that's such a good idea. We might get people upset.
I wouldn't do that. Because once they come up with something, that's, right? This here is. And I would, okay, so now we have to write out our sheet. Is your sheet the same as mine? Each fill out one? One for the table? Does somebody want to be the scribe?
I'll be the scribe.
Yeah, I need a sheet.
I'm an introvert.
That's okay.
So you know that I'm welcome.
Oh, okay.
We're neighbors dog or whatever.
Oh, I was going to tell you, I didn't see her back there. I was going to tell you, you didn't want to put your house on. I know it's because your neighbor. Also, what goes around, it goes with the size of the lot, so like a lot has a lot of wetlands, it's not developable. Doesn't mean the lot can't be in it, and then if it's a 10 acre, say it's a 10 acre lot, and only a small portion of it is buildable. The whole 10 acres becomes 15, they can squeeze as many as they want to get into that zone,
So we need to have a good reason for, can we come up with a diplomatic reason for why we chose these 20?
Because, I'll say it and you can agree or not agree. We chose a high net worth neighborhood because it's unlikely to go to the homes and tear them down.
I agree. And that's the real reason.
No, that's the reason we put it down. Our goal is not to make the
So can you say it again?
We chose a high net worth neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, it's at the end my table, right?
You don't want to do it.
Yeah. Residential. Yeah.
And I'm over with you. I'm with
So we chose
a different road.
Can I just say that we chose a high net worth neighborhood?
Because it is unlikely they would buy the homes and tear them down and build large condos. And because it's on the north, and because it's on the north side of town and it will spread any impact from this project around.
Yeah, we distributed it across all the different areas of town.
And it's so you voted for it.
So that's presidential. Is one? Oh,
They just wanted to say the 25 acres.
oh, that's the 25 acres. Okay.
Okay. Why did you select the location of the 10 acres and a half-mile radius of the train station? So why did we choose these?
You know that.
Yeah. So it's those are also
The highest net worth in that neighborhood, unlikely, with smaller lots, unlikely to be redeveloped.
What did your table propose for this area? I forget what you said.
What?
I think we overlaid it.
No, don't do that. That would be, unless you want a big condo there. Everyone's thinking, because they didn't care.
the only redeeming, to me, the main redeeming reason to actually redevelop that site near Fitzy's is because it's a mud pit and it's really unsightly, and I actually think it would boost property values.
If we could require this.
Yeah, if you could.
But here's the thing, you don't. You know, you're gonna get a big box, and I'll tell you why.
We have the big box.
Well, so do you need two? So here's the other thing about that, right? That is a moment in time. You may not like it, but a smart person. Have you ever been on Route 6A in Brewster to the Brewster Country Store? It's the exact same building. It has beautiful bunting and people sitting on the porch and, you know, eating ice creams. That's what that building should be. And they could do it. They could do it. I don't know why they don't. When the train station went in, you should be able to walk there, get a coffee in the morning and a donut, and then in the afternoon get your ice cream and go sit on a bench over on the park.
They redid the inside a couple months ago. It's actually a lot nicer inside.
But when we first bought, you go and get a soft serve. You can get a soft
When I was younger, it was nice enough place that you would, when I was really hot, drive out there and get a six-pack and some ice and go to the state park, even though it wasn't allowed. We were young. When I said young.
We won't tell on you.
So,
Oh, wow.
you know that it had some story about burlesque and some shooting and some gunshot we could find. There might have been some women that killed few.
It's a historical building then.
Upstairs.
And I think they used to hold church services.
That's true. That is true, yeah. Isn't that neat?
Now, would they be able to build that? It's historical.
Yeah, there's nothing that stops tearing down the restriction. Nothing, unless you buy a restriction. So,
Can I ask, what would we give for our reasons for this, and this?
okay, so these two are they asking us? Okay,
Yeah.
these two are in another area of town, again, high net worth.
Okay. And also recently redeveloped.
That one there's recently redeveloped, high net worth, not likely that anyone's selling to build upon. And to share the, yeah, because we are already in the south side. And I would call this, and I'll tell you this here. So the people that would stick it all south here. Originally this was the south side. Then it's south
I can't tell without the street names.
Well, this is wetlands, right? Yeah, so this is Oregon Road. This here is Edgewood. You know, comes off Oregon. This is Woodland. This is Woodland, and then it comes under here and goes over the Breakneck, and then this becomes, well, that's what it is on the maps. Jimmy was always mad about that. I just wanted to keep it. You don't get rid of your historical maps. Anyhow, no opinions. Yeah, do they even have Breakneck? No, this is the town.
Do we, actually, I think I've been hearing, do we have areas that we would want to preserve? That we would explicitly want to, is there any area that you would specifically want to keep the way that it is?
I would say we want to.
Or we can write down our addresses.
I would say, Fred, the dome.
What's that, the dome?
They're calling this the dome,
Yeah, they're calling
right?
it the dome, which I don't like, so I just hit it right.
Well, the half-acre zone should be as minimally impacted as possible besides the 10 acres because we are the most affordable and densest developed area in town. And we shouldn't take more than the 10 acres.
Okay, thank you.
And then, the other thing is, we wanted to share it geographically. Oh, no, sorry, I went back to the other one. I would say large undeveloped lots have open space that have the potential to become preserved.
I was touched that he gave me.
Yeah, we want to protect that. So even if they're not protected, we want open space. So this here is called the Russo land.
The only open space we have is
No, not here. Wait. We moved on from there. We already talked about this. We only want to put the 10 acres. No more, not an acre more. In the rest of the town, we want to preserve any undeveloped large open space unprotected.
Okay, so we want
Any unprotected large undeveloped land. Don't call it open space. Large undeveloped land. So that would be the Russo land, it would be Johnson Farms, because we want to preserve
unprotected, large, undeveloped, is that what you said?
undeveloped lots of land that serve as a wonderful open space for the town and future potential. We have I can say that.
We have no.
What? I said my husband's different. Our husband's
versus a kid that doesn't do athletics, but then
What are your top 3 concerns for the community's overlay district?
Why do you have to do it when the tenant doesn't work?
Traffic, school,
I think I'm gonna write traffic as the first one because I 100% agree about that one.
pollution
Yeah, okay.
from the traffic. There's
I'm gonna put that as one item.
no health issues from the pollution and traffic. That's why our area shouldn't get it. Do you know that the highest asthma, which is a really dangerous thing for kids and older people, is
yeah, 2. They don't, where's 495? No, that's
Oh,
not
495? 495 is here.
Well, it cuts over near us.
Yeah, and then it goes.
And this all just stopping and, having this all, we're already getting all the traffic from Legacy. They built that. Have you driven up there?
I know people who live there.
Our resources, Legacy,
town resources. How are they supposed
are you have more
fire? You're going to need more teachers. You're going
the transfer station is going to have more trash.
like, though, I told my kid,
No, you're changing the small town feel why we moved here. Quality of life.
Diminished town character.
It's going to be the same thing, but you should come along.
I'm enjoying it. I'm meeting wonderful people.
Well, we learned that when I sat down here.
What do you say? Oh, this will be fun.
I didn't know there was a second side.
Oh, yeah. Nothing. We're going to come
Wait
up
a
with
minute.
one.
What mandatory?
It's an opportunity to say where we want protected.
That's a positive.
Where?
Like by doing this activity, we also kind of are saying like, this is another area where we think we should kind of keep everybody's hands off.
Not a benefit.
I think that's a benefit. I'm trying to find a benefit. Okay.
You can put that down. I'm not the ruler.
I'm going to stew on it.
See, here's the thing. It's not protecting anything. It's just not developing something. That's why I put it back.
What do you think of a mandatory mixed-use provision? I'm very confused. What do you
I'm
think?
asking about that.
Okay. In the meantime, what locations would you like mixed use included? Which locations would you like mixed use? Oh. Which locations? I'm going to say none.
Yeah, we don't want them with the apartments. We've heard first things we don't want.
I'm going to say none. Well, what's really rich to me
Okay, that needs to be restated next time. There is no requirement. You can do it.
Oh.
So my comment there would be, don't do it.
Yeah. Don't.
No, she is very much on it. What is the schedule? Her husband had no time off, so she went away. I'm going to say people are complaining that she was that she must be. We're doing just fine.
What are the goals for your neighborhood?
Small goals with this development. No, for our neighborhood.
I know, the way they phrased it, just what in general are your goals for your neighborhood? I want want my kids to be able to walk and run and play outside without fear of traffic. Yeah, it is kind of relating to the MBTA. Because if you have more people living in town in a high density space,
Hey, maybe
you
say
can't really
as
play
little
outside.
impact as possible and no, and the least amount of actual density increase development for my just be ice cream shop, that's all.
That would be nice.
Minimal redevelopment. Got it?
About Starbucks?
It's very expensive.
I went in there the first time, I didn't know anything about it, and it was all like, and then they go, would you like some? And I'm like, okay. And they said, would you like some? And I'm like, okay. How about, I think it was more than that, and I was like, what? It wasn't that good.
It's very rich.
Do you know which ones I like? They're ice cream stores, but go ahead. Maybe an ice cream store. So,
What are the goals for your neighborhood? An ice cream stand.
we were promised it with a big yellow building and we never got it.
Hey, actually, that's a fair point. Additional comments.
We were supposed to get an ATM.
ATM and ice cream. They promised it. The promise is that I had to. Remember it was a bridal? You weren't here when I told him I parked in the parking lot once. I was headed out and then I needed to make a phone call and I wasn't going to do a driving. So I was sitting in the parking lot on the phone for a while. And someone came out and tapped me. This is a private lot.
Now they got it all blocked up.
No, this was in their lot with the building. Our empty
The one across
spaces.
They put chains up.
I guess it was
My granddaughter would take her bike down there and drive in. I'm like,
and if I left my house and I left my phone at home, I could turn around and go back.
What would you say to a dog park in the I'm just trying to think of a creative alternative. So I'm thinking of the lot next to this immediately right next to the train station. Space at 10% chance. Do we put like a dog park? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like something fun to say.
Oh, no. I have
Veto.
Other parts that way. It would be an outside interpretive center for the indigenous people who use that area. But you can't have but I would love to talk to you about something. There's a pair of I used to spend a lot of time there.
Could we put one of these like here? Just curious about that. Also,
No, but you could put it on the solar. Well, hopefully that's going to come out someday, so you don't want to.
Alright, I'll probably.
No. Oh, so they must have off the island.
No, I'm just showing whether or not you guys are making
Well, you don't want to do any of that.
figure out which way you're going to decide.
so apparently most of this water is artificial. It's like dammed up.
They flooded 24% of the town. You used to be able to, this part of the town,
Yeah.
but you used to be able to.
I was joking with her, like, could you just drain the reservoir and build in the condos in here?
So here's the thing, they will never do that. And you know, they wanted boats and I used to work with the they said there is no access. That's the point. They said Because if you open it up, in Southborough, and especially
Probably nothing. Yeah, people fish along it.
they didn't like me.
I know it's beautiful. It's huge. It's not like any old reservoir. It's huge. I like it a lot.
This resident,
Yeah, I like it.
you know that it was this their that water supply facility was.
Oh yeah.
The first, no, second. The first was like children. I didn't know that. And when, yeah, well, that's been disconnected. When they had
Right, set, but right, no, we can.
So if we could make the setbacks so that any one of these properties
thousands of people,
couldn't
it's
be
a long,
done,
long time. That's like their
they would need to get.
And that was no good, and they built this is too shallow. And it doesn't. So then they moved it. It's shallow. So then they went 50% out.
I thought they were all connected.
Well, this here is still the backup water supply. But the water treatment facility is further out, so it doesn't complete it. So it would be used, but it's not really drinkable. You have to boil water. So one time, we sealed off in here, we wanted to develop it. It's under a deed protection. Because when they sold the land, for some reason they thought the guy had a car. And then he got done draining. He got golf course. Yeah, then when they wanted to develop, they said no way. So, then what happened was.
Are you guys just about wrapped up?
Hey, what did you write?
Way down to the IRS.
Yeah, I haven't really put a whole lot. Thanks so much. Thanks. See ya.
Figured it out. Everyone go home now.
It's good seeing you.
Where'd you guys put yours?
We put ours,
We were trying to be strategic.
so,
In the circle as far away.
down this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this area right here.
Yeah.
The circle, it's $1 million home.
Yeah, same idea, I think, as us, yeah.
They use smaller lots though, because all you need is one person to sell and they can like some.
Anyway,
Yeah, but that's.
we're gonna come next week. This is kind of fun.
You get
In a
out.
weird, kind of, sad way.
But yeah, we're calling it the John Butler approach, like to cause as little change as possible to our community.
Yeah.
What was the other meeting we did last year? The town meeting? That was actually really cool. You ever like town meetings are really neat.
We went to one a long time ago, but yeah, no, I agree. They're
Get some characters up there talking.
yeah.
Bring some popcorn.
Good idea.
See ya.
Bye.
How we say we thank the planning board for.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna stroll.
What would you call this?
I wrote big day tomorrow.
Thank the planning board and Chloe for running a great workshop.
I have no idea.
Yeah, she wants the stickers on, John.
Freddie, you need to spread your logic around because everyone's putting you on Fitzgerald.
That was another member, but,
Oh, I know, but all of the other tables, did they? Well, yeah, we live right across from it, but we don't really live on Fitzgerald.
I saw that.
Yeah. What is this area right here?
It's an expensive neighborhood that won't ever get redeveloped.
Agreed.
Yeah, but isn't that, it's an affordable.
Fitzgerald's is like right where the black dot is.
But what road is it?
I don't know. Oh, it's in Stockwell Lane, I think. Oh, is that what it's called?
Fitzgerald is
Oh.
right. Oh, that's Fitzgerald Lane.
Is that the name of it? Oh, I didn't even know what the name of it. Cool.
But you have to
All
have
right.
people wanting to sell.
okay, but also, say you sell, right? Say it's an eighth of an acre. I sell, I can still get it in. 1 acre of is, so 5 by 10.
Yeah, yeah.
They still get multifamily permits. So I don't know how they.
Where's the malicious compliance?
Malicious compliance.
What do you mean? Like, we'll do it, but we're gonna make it hard.
We're not interested in having
that's
it
what
happen.
Yeah, we don't want them.
And are you? What's your stance?
I was just wondering.
You asked us our stance, what's yours? We wanted to spread it around and not just have it all be implemented on the south side of town, which already has all of the.
I live under this ordinance, so I was wondering if you really wanted that to be.
Are you on my website, on my Facebook page? He's our chair. Board of Southborough. Yeah. I'm on Fitzgerald Lane.
Okay, yeah. So the goal is, the goal is not to impact that neighborhood, but if you put it elsewhere, it's gonna happen.
No,
but I
thought
think
this
people
was
just,
like-
it would cost too much to develop that and keep developers aware that they want to hide it. Right, that's what I like, right? Because it would cost too much light. Yeah, so I visited, if you just search Porterville's, they're very thoughtful, have them on time.
Where do you put your fine?
President, right, you know, there.
Splendid.
We can see Fitzgerald from
We walked over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got
Yeah, right by the
down
triangle there.
You've got two on Highland. What's that one
Stockwell.
there?
That's next development on Deerfoot.
Join our group.
Oh, that's the end of Deerfoot.
Getting started.
Yeah.
You know, people
Okay.
are slowly starting to get confident.
You got five presidential. My God, we're going to have a riot at town meeting. I can see that.
You know what?
So we just want to thank you for coming. We are nearing the 8 o'clock hour. Thank you for your participation. Next steps, we will be consolidating the feedback. We appreciate your participation and your attendance. And I'm going to make a motion to close the planning board meeting.
And make sure that you put your contact information down on the sign-in sheet.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor?
And yes? Miriam, yes?
You need to come.
Stein, yes, we are adjourned, thank you.